a lot of players have really good experience against. So I'm interested to see whether or not Jukem has that level of high level experience against a weird character like Gunk. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to get into the match and see how these players play it out.
Okay, kicking things off, I know we don't really get to see Krogunk all too often, Chef, but what is your opinion looking at this matchup on paper?
Oh, it's always so hard to say. I mean, Krogunk, I would say, literally probably the least used competitive character in Pokkén Tournament DX, and for good reason. Not only is it a character that is very, very weird and has some RNG options, but one of the most difficult characters to execute with in the entire game. So I definitely wouldn't say that as much as I've seen from this game, I have enough experience in this matchup at a high level to say what I think this matchup could be. But, I mean, Sceptile always a character that is very, very solid and doesn't have a whole lot of super bad matchups. So it's probably why we're seeing this instead of the Empoleon coming out of Jukem early on. But already the Boulder coming out.
Yeah, Boolerex already opening up pretty strongly right here, and now trying to close in some of the space. He does get that grab, waiting for Jukem to get up before committing to that option right here. Does have that power up too, and Jukem immediately retaliating right back, and now keeps Boolerex over to the side. He's going to be able to utilize Latios though, and does clip him from his jump right there. I really like the approach because he knew that Boolerex actually wanted to jump out of that corner.
Oh yeah, great usage of the Latios. I mean, I was talking about how he's moving out of his comfort picks as far as supports, and that's one of the biggest things that he's starting to use Yveltal and Latios. But already seeing the Latios come into play, and oh, that's going to be a lot of damage. Burst is available. Boolerex immediately going to pop it. Not going to be like the last set that we saw. Doesn't punish the Leaf Storm that recovers so quickly. Going to go in for the burst, just get a little bit more chip damage, build a little bit of space. It's going to be okay though.
Oh, he does manage to get the substitute going forward though, and now manages to pull the trigger on the burst after seeing Boolerex try to close in that gap. Can he catch him off guard though? Boolerex is at the ready, does manage to shield that on time and stops Jukem's approach in the air right here. And this is a good position if I were Boolerex, because with that helping out, oh, Jukem jumps over it, and the time, Jukem has 30 HP, and Boolerex takes that first round with just 5 HP in the pocket extra.
Oh my gosh, he saw the time for sure, but there just wasn't enough time for Jukem to make the comeback. As far as chip, of course, if we talk about chip damage in general, one of the highest chip damage characters in the game, I'm actually going to say the highest chip damage character in the game is Krogunk. And so we see that life bar just melts. It's not permanent damage, but it doesn't matter when it gets to be the end of the round at time like that. And you can already see the chip damage coming into play again. All of that sort of gray life that we see there, the darkened life, that's all life that can be recovered. But if he takes one big hit, he can lose all of it so quickly.
Yeah, you can see as a damage output coming in from Jukem, despite Boolerex though managing to get some of that extra chip damage here. Does keep Jukem up in the air and tries to close in some of that space. Does throw out that Poison Sting, and now being able to go right in though, does shift phase, and Jukem is on the ropes. Can he close in some of that gap? He's gonna be able to call in Yveltal, and now gonna be able to try to reverse the situation. Boolerex is ready though, and he's stuck in the corner. He manages to jump out of there, and I really love the way Boolerex is actually playing this, but Jukem, he's not giving up just yet. He's kept him forward, and he's trapped him against the wall.
But 1 HP, can't get hit at all. And the fact that now we see Krogunk at lower life means that he's going to be able to get more often the rare items when he does his jump A. All right, this is going to be close to a shield break. He just needs to line a few hits, but there's no 6 seconds left. Can Jukem get around it? And he does. He finds the hit, but he's still at 2 HP. He's still at 2 HP, and there's only 2 seconds left. And he's going to get the win. Boolerex is going to take the first game against the world champion using Krogunk. Oh, I did not expect that to start off that way. So fortunate that it ended up being the bomb in the air. It does do self-damage, which is very scary, but it cannot KO you. Like, you cannot KO yourself with it. So that damage was exactly what he needed to close out super quickly in that situation. And now Boolerex with a 1-0 lead. Unbelievable.
I honestly, Chef, if you can see my face right now, the way that Jukem also just held on to that 1 HP for so long and managed to keep Boolerex on the ropes. I mean, that is also some momentum right here that Jukem could carry going into the second game. And despite Boolerex having this lead, look at the way that Jukem has opened things up right now, dealing so much of that damage, already has a lead on the burst meter, and still at the same time, Boolerex has not been able to get out of this corner. Now shifting phase though, this is his window of opportunity, but you have the Latios coming in, forcing out the shield, and now is going to be able to close in that gap.
Oh, and okay, the jab is going to, okay, doesn't actually go for that big of a conversion. Gets the double debuff though, which is going to make the Venom Shock that much scarier. It does add more lasers the more that you have debuffs on. Not going to happen anymore, but oh, backs up, still gets hit into the trap on the ground though. And yeah, Jukem, despite suffering two pretty, I guess I would say heartbreaking losses in the previous 2 rounds of the last game, still is staying 100% solid, and that shows you the mindset of a world champ.
Absolutely, being able to keep cool at the same time right now, and Jukem, you know, this is his time to shine. He wants to make sure that he doesn't get that second place spot after losing the Shadow Cat last year, and now being able to find his feet around Boolerex, a player who, you know, coming out of the Woodworks, utilizing Progun to its full extent. It could be tricky here, but Jukem showing that this isn't an unfamiliar matchup to him, at least right now. Having that burst meter at the ready, the helping hand coming in to help out Boolerex. Can he manage to reverse the situation though? Jukem is still applying so much of that pressure, but the anti-air coming in from Boolerex now could set him up in the driver's seat.
Oh, and the bomb that, oh, okay, I was about to talk about the bomb, but of course the Jukem classic Leaf Storm is going to close that out. A super high damage anti-air, but yeah, the bomb actually came out in a really unfortunate time there. And that's one of the things about Krogunk, you know, that bomb won him the game, the self-damage bomb in the first game, but in the second one, it very potentially lost it for him. So you know what you're getting into when you use that move out of the air. It's just, it's random, you know? If that was a boulder right there, maybe it would have been the comeback. You just have to live with those risks. But yeah, this is tied up. And Boolerex looking unfazed himself. It's going to be a big combo, drops it, but still manages to get a lot of damage in wall carry.
Yeah, now Jukem, though, starting things off pretty strong, though. Does have that debuff onto Boolerex, too, to be able to take full advantage of here. He keeps him against the wall, though. Shifting phase, Boolerex can now get away to try to close in some of that gap here. Does use the helping hand to not only heal himself, but also to make sure that he gets a buff on that attack power. But he doesn't even have the chance to fully utilize it, because Jukem now has kept him trapped. Chef, what could Boolerex do here? Now he has the Latios, and now he can stop him from jumping out of this situation. He wants to close first round like it's a speed run.
Oh, I don't know. That was such a tough situation to get out of. But I do have to point out, too, a great combo, crit-only combo from the 2Y tech. And look how much damage this character can do. Oh, he's doing the full swivel loops. He's doing the full things. Well, he went for a weird ender, and then it wasn't going to pay off. Jukem using burst. I mean, that was almost one combo to even things up completely after that amazing field phase. And Jukem, he's going to have a nice advantage here with the burst. There's going to be a lot of chips. It's going to take him down to 1, I think it is. And he's got the corner positioning, but he still needs to find one more hit. However, we're entering that time. Okay, I was going to say that spot where time could really matter. However, the jump Y from the Sceptile, one of the best jump attacks in the game, is enough to close that one out. Boolerex just building burst for this round, though.
That was a good call out too from Jukem. He kept applying that ground pressure here and forced Boolerex to jump right into it, especially since he was cornered right there. He didn't want to be in that situation, but you know, Boolerex does have that burst meter at the ready, as well as Edie to help him out and increase some of that attack power that we had seen earlier. And you know, Jukem now trying to actually quite literally juke Boolerex. He gets right around Boolerex and does get that grab over there, and with the burst meter at the ready, this is going to be a tough situation. Jukem managing to keep Boolerex in the corner, now tries to close in some of this gap, but Boolerex is actually positioning himself pretty well here around Jukem.
Yeah, and the boulder coming out, so much chip, that's going to be unsafe, that is going to be a punish. But Jukem still needs to work to try to build up a burst in this round if he wants to maybe contest the burst from Boolerex. Luckily, burst is not all that scary from Krogunk. A lot of times he's just going to be able to get a lot of chip on you, and I think this should catch out of the air. It will, and this is going to give a synergy, or a no synergy buff, which is going to be huge for the situation, and drain some of the meter.
Yeah, also was spaced perfectly behind Boolerex right there too, so that was gonna still catch him anyways right here. Now calling in the Eevee to boost up some of that health as well to regaining here and boost up some of that attack power going forward too. Jukem wanted to close in the gap though. Boolerex finding himself with only 22 HP, calls in the synergy burst at the same time to regain some of that HP, but Jukem has a burst himself and he still only needs one round to take this game. He's gonna call the trigger on it. Now trying to close in this gap build. You can see the way that he was just timing out Boolerex. He had his eyes on the timer, and unfortunately, Boolerex could not do anything about it.
Yeah, Boolerex in those final moments, he was like, wait a minute, how do I do this much damage? And he went for some good options, you know, he could do a lot of chip, but especially with the fact that it was burst of his own, it was going to be so hard to effectively do that much damage. The only way that it was going to happen was if, for whatever reason, Jukem let go of block, and he knew that if he just sat there, held down that one button, he was good to go. So Jukem now up in the set 2-1. However, that was actually a lot closer than it looked.
Right now, though, Boolerex is trapped, and Jukem is going to be able to get away with dealing a good amount of damage. We've already seen, though, before in the past. Boolerex has no problem evening up that score with some of that attack. And, you know, the Eevee is going to be coming online very shortly here to boost up some of that attack power. Now keeping Boolerex over to the ropes. This seems to be the habit that we're seeing from Jukem. He's built up some of that momentum, and he's still managing to run around with it. The rock stopping him short, and now Boolerex finally has a footing on the ground.
Oh, but this is not an easy situation. Has to fight from inside. Latios is going to hit a bunch. No full conversion, but that's a really long time of defense down. So pretty much any hit here is going to be enough to KO, and just a raw counterattack is going to do it as Jukem goes up to match point. And this is not an easy situation. We are going to see the supports fully charged on the side of Boolerex, although, however, it's the same way with the Yveltal that's done so much work for Jukem's side.
I love that reaction right there from Jukem. Going immediately to the counter. He does have that burst meter and Yveltal to help him out here, as well as trap Boolerex in the corner that he wants to pin him in. Does go for that jump as well to avoid that attack, and with the Eevee, he's going to be able to boost some of Boolerex's attacks here, and that's going to be a good amount of damage going on to Jukem. Again, he does have that burst meter to keep your eye out on, though.
Oh, that setup, that entire phase was so beautiful from Boolerex. I mean, he managed to get a lot of damage, but it was a lot of really good reads and very tight execution setups. However, now he's in the corner. Oh no, getting hit with a crit grab. And now he's got to make a tough call here. Does he want to spend out his burst just to try to survive in this round? Or does he want to try to save it for the next one? I think he's going to have to use it now. I don't think he's going to have that many more opportunities. It's such a big risk to hold on to it. We saw that in the last game from War Master.
Exactly, and you know, it would be a big risk right here too, especially with Jukem already having that first round. Now Jukem calling in a burst himself, maybe just waiting for Jukem to pull the trigger on it first here. You can see the play coming in from Boolerex. That's going to be a lot of chip damage, and Jukem knows Boolerex has nowhere to go. This is going to trap Boolerex, and the answer right back with the burst, knowing that he can actually power right through it, and allowing him to actually live a lot longer here, but Jukem catches him over to the side, and now Boolerex wants to try to reverse this. Jukem knows, look at the time, 3 seconds right here, Chef. He's running away with it. Can the time tick away, or can Boolerex close in that gap?
And it looks like time will go in the favor of the world champion, and that is a tough way to lose for sure for Krogunk, but or I'm sorry, I should say for Boolerex. That's what happens when somebody's so good with the character. But that was so well.